Oh, it is so good to have you with us. Welcome into our ESPN FC studios. My name is Kevin Egan alongside Ali Krieger. We've got Nedum, Udoh, and welcome back to the studio for our first time during the World Cup. Steve McManaman is here, getting set to break it all down. We are at the quarter-final stage. From 48 teams, 40 have come and gone. The last 8, here we go. Today, it's France taking on Morocco to kick off the quarter-final stage. And these gems in studio aren't the only ones breaking it all down here today. We will have Frank Leboeuf and Colin Udoh joining us very shortly indeed. But I want to start with you, Macca. Your overall thoughts on this brilliant World Cup so far?
Well, I think the fact that we've got a bigger World Cup this year, 48 teams, the fact that we're down to the last 8, and let's be honest, all the big teams are still in it, aren't they? All the favourites going into the tournament, France, Argentina, England, Spain, you know, even the champions of the AFCON now, Morocco was still involved. So I think that's my takeaway. It doesn't matter how many teams are involved in the competition. When it gets down to the business end, the best teams are still there.
Only 8 nations have ever won the World Cup. You're absolutely right. I know the emotion of it all, Ali, is standing out to you.
Yeah, it's been brilliant to see a lot of the veteran players who understand that this may be their last World Cup or their last opportunity to play in the world stage and in this tournament. To see the emotion, they're a bit overwhelmed, and the tears and the fact that this means so much to them. I can definitely relate being in a similar position, playing in a World Cup, and it's just been unbelievable to see. That emotion from every single one of them, and just the willingness to want to continue and to fight until the very end. It's been brilliant.
Yeah. Frank Leboeuf, want to get your thoughts on this one? I know it's a big, big day for you today, and you're Le Bleu.
Well, everything has been perfect. You know, I was expecting big, lots of goals, you know, against Curacao, Haiti, or Cape Verde. It happened only once with Germany. But otherwise, you know, everything has been very nice to watch and entertaining for everybody. I thought the atmosphere around here in New York has been absolutely great. And everybody enjoys the World Cup. The games are good. We have big suspense right now. And it's true that seeing the best team in the world fighting for the title it's really something that I was looking for.
Colin, how about you? What stood out so far for you?
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, this World Cup has given what I'll call a black eye to critics of the 48-team World Cup. We heard the UEFA President Seferin talking about how the World Cup should not have so many teams. We heard Gennaro Gattuso of Italy also say the same thing about how some certain countries should not be at the World Cup. But like Frank said, there were people wanted to see blowouts. There haven't been blowouts. We've seen the likes of Haiti, Cape Verde, Curacao come in and give a great account of themselves. Look, no matter how you slice it, the best teams are going to end up at the top of the pile when it comes down to the business end, and that's what's going to happen. But the World Cup has brought, the expanded World Cup has brought so much joy, so much great stories. Even the goal by Lopez Cabral against Argentina, great moment for the expanded World Cup, and I think long may it continue.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the point that was made about the seedings before the tournament was set out. Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. This for is Argentina, Spain. You've got England, and who was the other team? Sorry. France. So they're the top 4, and they're still left in the competition. So it shows that the seeding has mattered, but those teams have all had to earn the right to be there. And you can look at the expanded nature of the tournament as well. And there have been some ties, which makes you wonder in some ways, like which are the teams that wouldn't be here otherwise? Because you think, oh, it'd be this team, that team, and so on and so forth. But they've made a good account of themselves. And then finally, like, from a footballing standpoint, you look at the top goal scorers at this World Cup.
It's a joke, isn't it?
It's the majority of the big names that you would hope to be there. Adding into that, Lionel Messi breaks the record to be the all-time top goal scorer at the competition. And then 27-year-old Kylian Mbappe is right on his tail as they're both still left in the competition. From that standpoint, in terms of the stars of the big nations, it's been incredible.
I mean, you cannot make up this storyline for the Golden Boot. It's been absolutely phenomenal with Messi, Mbappe, Haaland and Kane all going for it. Frank Leboeuf, what's been your favourite game of the World Cup so far?
You know, I'm hesitating between Argentina against Cape Verde and Mexico against England, but I'm going to go for Mexico against England because everybody promised the hell to the English, and they stepped up and they had a hell of a game. That was exceptional. the enthusiasm that they put into the game, the willingness of going into everybody and every odds, that was great. That was really great, and England deserved to win that game. They did everything they had to do to make sure they won. Maybe they didn't have the real possession of the game, but they handled the altitude, the crazy atmosphere from the fans, and they won that game, and they were able to go through. And Harry Kane not being able to speak anymore because he was shouting to his teammate during the game said a lot about the involvement of everybody.
That must have been something else back in England, guys, for both of you.
It was 5 o'clock in the morning back in England.
I'd imagine there were some heads showing up for work the next morning.
Yeah, it was a wonderful game, wasn't it? As Frank rightly said, with everything going against them with the altitude, etc., etc. We've spoke about it before. And Giroud getting sent off and having to survive for such a long time with 10 men, I think it made that victory a little bit better. I still think they need to improve. I didn't get carried away like a lot of the English press did about that particular performance, because it was a dogged defensive performance where at the end of the game they're getting the ball and just kicking it into the crowd or kicking it up the field. You know, they have to improve it, but the fact that they got this far and they're in the quarterfinals and now they can look forward to Norway and then possibly, you know, an Argentina semi-final, it just flows right, doesn't it? It really looks good for England. But I still even admit now that I still want them to be better than what I've seen. They should have got this far when you look at their opponents.
You talk attacking-wise?
Yes. Just creativity all over the park, really. I expect better performances than what I've seen, even though the last one against Mexico was decent in itself.
From that England perspective, if England would have been knocked out now, not many people would have been surprised, because you'd be talking about the altitude, talking about Mexico's record at the Azteca, and even though Mexico themselves don't have an incredible record at the World Cup, you could see the storyline that would lead to them being in that position. And then from an England perspective, we go down to 10 players very early in the second half. So you're thinking, well, this is it. This is a story that we've seen repeat itself throughout, you know, our lives. But it was the opposite. And I think I'm with Maka in terms of understanding that England can play better. But I could make the case that, say, France the round before could have played better and maybe put Paraguay to bed the same way that the US did. But instead, England, France, and some of these other teams, for all the quality that they have, they've shown a level of grit and determination and passion that puts them in the positions they're in now, where they are deserving of being in this last 8.
There's always hype around England. Coming into this World Cup, very little hype around Belgium. Yet they went to Seattle and they put 4 past the United States men's national team. Lukaku's celebration obviously has gone viral. Belgium's Twitter account getting involved as well, saying, overturn this, showing Lukaku's celebration that really did ice this game. So many talking on this one, including our very own Gab Marcotti on the Gab and Jules podcast.
To me, what was also equally disappointed was the U.S. Soccer Federation in this. It's wrong. I think what they did was wrong from a moral standpoint, because the rules are rules. It was also a stupid thing to do, because you knew that the president and the White House were going to get involved and call Infantino. For you to come out, and it's been widely reported, they haven't come out and said this officially, but it's been widely reported by sources, including our own Jeff Carlisle, that they were part of the process, or they were engaged in the process. Why are you engaging in a process that is wrong? Once you know that it can't be appealed, leave it at that. Engage in the process is going to lead people to think you are the ones lobbying the president. Mr. President, can you please go and talk to Gianni Infantino? It's just dirty and yucky. You could have still benefited from it just by keeping your mouth shut. I hope JT Batson or Cindy Parler-Cohn, I hope they come out and they explain exactly what they did and when. They can't just turn the page on this, because I think this is going to have repercussions, as we saw from the reactions from people all around the world.
Agree, Mecca? First time hearing from you on this.
Absolutely. I think everybody agrees. Anybody who's been involved in football will say it's a disgrace, isn't it? And for all the goodwill that the USA and Mauricio Pochettino had going into that particular game, it was all spoiled by the fact that...
Does that affect the mindset of the players?
It shouldn't do. I think they just got beaten. They just got to the end of the road. That's how good they are, the last 16. And Belgium are a good European team. Not the best, but a good European team. And have beaten them quite convincingly. It just leaves a sour taste in the mouth, doesn't it? And most people were quite happily glad that they were beating USA, all because of this silly incident that should not be involved in football. You can't mix football and politics. Not at a World Cup, I'm sorry.
So it's interesting, because the football and politics thing, there is like politics has existed in sport before. You know, if we're going back to say Olympic times, Jesse Owens, people like this, but it's more so the like government intervention in something. And I think what made it worse from the perspective that I see around this is like from the USA, it didn't feel like there was any level of humility or sorrow towards them being given what feels like preferential treatment. So with that, the rest of the world then says, well, we don't want this, we can't accept this. Yeah. And to make it even worse from my perspective, again, from FIFA, we all know that they suspended the punishment, but has anyone heard FIFA say why? Mm-hmm. They've told them that, oh, this is within our remit, we can do this, but they've not explained the why. If they present the why, we can then have a different discussion about whether we think that's right or not. But instead, it's like, no, we've made this decision. The president said he was involved. The US Soccer Federation were involved. So just get on with it. And that's what you can't really accept.
I wonder whether Mauricio Pochettino was involved. That's the thing. Or whether it's just been thrust onto him.
Well, to be honest, the way Pochettino sounded around it, he sounded like he was okay with it, which I was very surprised at, given his experience and the fact that he is not from the United States and he could potentially see this in a different light.
Yeah, he seemed absolutely okay with it.
Exactly,
the ruthless win-at-all-costs approach. It felt wrong. How did you feel from someone who's been there before? You've had to deal with an awful lot of noise in a World Cup yourself in the past.
Yeah, I thought it was handled so carelessly. It was horrendous because no matter what the conversation was and no matter how the game went, the conversation would have always been about the controversy, not the football. It didn't even matter how the game would have played out. And now, the United States, had such a positive view of the team. And just like we were talking before the show.
The global football audience.
And the global football. And now the perspective has changed drastically. And Trump had inserted himself into our 2019 World Cup and then has obviously accomplished to do this again and make it about himself. And I think it's just so unfortunate because you're right. Football and politics don't belong in this space. And it gave Belgium, even more motivation to want to come out and play the way that they did.
Do you agree with Maka that it shouldn't affect the mindset of the players?
It shouldn't affect the mindset of the players because you have a job to do. This is a business. You're a professional player. You're at this level. You need to show up and do your job and not allow that noise to affect you. You have a bubble and you have a task at hand and you should be able to do two things at once, multitask very well at this level. But it's a shame. And then the U.S. had just made uncharacteristic mistakes. That's the football side of it. We just weren't good enough on the day. But yes, I mean, the whole situation was just...
If they would have beaten Belgium, we still would have been talking about it.
Exactly.
So, yes.
100%.
Yes.
So it would have taken...
To this extent?
It would have taken away from a magnificent victory against a real powerhouse in European football. We would have been saying, they only won because of X, they only won because of the centre-forwards playing. And that should never have been the case. We should have just rolled on for wonderful performance by the US in the knockout stage. Wonderful performance. Great performance at beating Belgium. But instead, we would have been talking about this. So most people are very happy that it's sort of gone away until after the tournament.
Him being dragged into this situation itself, as a birthright citizen, which needs to be mentioned, by the way, who Trump is very much against having that sort of status, he's trying to do the best that he can. He's trying to be as humble as possible. He spoke to Garcia, the Belgian manager, after the game.
Nothing but class.
Nothing but class at all. But his name is associated with this because this is the Balogun incident. This is the Balogun case. And it's such a shame from him because for the rest of his career, he'll have to speak about this thing which he had no control over whatsoever.
He won over the hearts of so many people in this tournament. Colin, I'd love your thoughts on this.
Oh, yeah, certainly. Look, I think it was a bad decision. The thing about football's rules is that whether the referee gets it right or wrong is that they apply consistently equally to everybody. And this just turned all of that on its head. And I think that's why we found ourselves, as much as we support the US men's national team, you have this whole outpouring of support for Belgium. And maybe in many ways, I think FIFA should consider themselves lucky that the Belgium won this game, because imagine if the US had won, Balogun had scored, and then Belgium decided to go through all of the process of taking this to CAS and everywhere else. This would have put the entire World Cup in a complete, it would have been a farce completely, chaos. So I think it was good in the end that Belgium won, and then all of that just kind of get to the side. But I don't think this is the end. I think there's going to be more coming from this. And, I'd just like to reiterate what we said. Class there from Balogun, both from when he got the red card, even though we felt that it wasn't justified, to everything that's gone on. Nedum, I think, would say that in Nigeria, because Balogun is also Nigerian, has Nigerian origin, just like you and I, and would say it comes from good home training. When you're raised right by your Nigerian parents, that's what you bring, and that's the class that you bring to things like this.
It's nice to listen to you. In that matter, I think the Balogun case brought a lose-lose situation for the US or for the entire world, because as the guy said, you know, he brought an extra motivation to the Belgian players. So therefore, I think they really wanted to win that game and to show that they were the best. And at the United States men national team won that game, it would have been another problem that they won because of the Balogun case. So nothing was good on that matter. He should have been suspended for one game, and it wouldn't affect anything, because it's only. I also believe that it's not only one person would do the difference. Maybe for Argentina, but for the others, you need everybody to make it work. And really, United States lost their game because the player didn't give 100% in that game. But it's not because they were how do you say, worried about what people would have said about the Balogun case.
World Cup champion, as we all know, with Leboeuf. You snuck by Paraguay, an emotional game. How nervous are you ahead of this one?
I'm excited. I'm not nervous, and I'm respectful. I know what kind of team France is going to face, and with all respect that with that Moroccan team, it's going to be a hard game. They are much better than the semi-final in 2022. I think they're very much more organized and better at France with. For example, Saibari, I don't know if he's going to play or not.
No,
if
he's
he comes back from his injury. But no, well, good thing for us. Good point. But really, it's with all respect that I'm facing that game, and I want to watch that game, because France, of course, is the favorite. And France, if they play at 100%, for sure they're going to go through. But they're going to go through against any team. But if they think that's going to be easy, they're going to be surprised, because the Moroccan team is very, very good.
Colin, Gab on the Gab and Jules podcast made the point that the Morocco team of 4 years ago would nearly be more of a threat to this France team with the way they played versus this team that has an awful lot more of the ball and controls the ball. Do you agree?
Yes, I think so. Look, you've got to respect this France team. They're really, really good. Going into this tournament, I had them as potential winners, if not the most likely winners. But Morocco, they've grown a lot from the 2022 team. And when you look at those improvements, you've got to think that, yes, maybe that team would have been a better fit stylistically for this France team. But I also think that the way this Morocco team has evolved, it's evolved in such a way that they can sort of like shape shift, so to speak, into whatever works best for them against whatever opposition. And I think that, just like Frank said, this is going to be a really difficult game for France. And look, trust me, I wouldn't be surprised if, as much as I think France are still the best team at this tournament, if Morocco can get a win against France, I wouldn't be surprised if Morocco go ahead and win it all, to be honest.
Looking at the path for both France and Morocco here at the 2026 World Cup, as you can see, France cruising through the group. Norway, 4-1 victors. They played all the stars in that game, having already qualified. 3-0 against Sweden. Paraguay keeping a clean sheet in that game as well. As for Morocco, big 4-2 win against Haiti. They head to the knockout stages. A tight one against the Netherlands, and then they cruise past Canada. For more on the tactics behind this game, over to the Standbox now with Nedum.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kevin. So I think from a defensive standpoint, playing against this France side is probably one of the toughest tasks you will have in all of world football. And some of that isn't just because of the nature of the attackers that they have, but it's how interchangeable they are with their positions. Because someone like Kylian Mbappe here, he's got a tendency to drift out towards his left-hand side. Do you think the two centre-halves, they'll be like, that's fine, everything's okay, there's nobody in the middle. But then Ousmane Dembele is the Ballon d'Or winner from that 9 position. And so there's a gap on the far right-hand side for France. Well, who fills that? It will be Michael Olise, because that's his position for Bayern Munich, where he's been one of the best players in the world this last season. And Desiree Doué can very easily come and sit in that position there. And as you really look at that front four, looking at 4 players who are either Ballon d'Or winners or future Ballon d'Or winners is how I see them. So when you want to establish this sort of duel with the player in front of you, it proves to be very, very difficult. Adding to that now as well, from a France perspective, they have fullbacks like Luca Digne, who can go and attack quite high, but he knows that his role is to support the play. The same on the other side with Jules Koundé. They will support the play, and before you know it, they have the magic, they have the quality. And you think, okay, well, this is great. If we can be defensively robust against these players, then maybe we can hit them in transition. And then this is now where France's strength comes in again, because at the back you have William Saliba and you have Diop and Meccano. And for me, those are two of the best centre-halves in all of world football. And if we look at this that they are left with, if we look at Kone, if we look at Rabiot and those two centre-halves, well, it's going to be very, very hard to hit them on the break as well. So from this France side, I think it's one of the most balanced sides we've ever seen. But add to that the fact that up top, they have four of the best attacking players in all of world football. How do you stop it? Well, you try and win your duels. But it seems that your duels, if you're going to be at the back for Morocco, are going to be changing minute through minute in what will be a very, very difficult game for them.
Outstanding there from Nedum. I think that deserves a round of applause on the sandbox.
Go me!
Brilliant stuff. Look at these superstars leading the line for
Never.
France. The 2018 winners, Dembele, 4 goals, couple of assists. Mbappe adds 7 more goals. And Michael Olise leads the World Cup with 5 assists so far. The balance is better than ever, Frank Leboeuf, according to Nedum. Do you agree?
I totally agree. Well done, Nedum. That was great explanations, and really, I was very amazed, and you had everything in spot on. But what I like the most is the versatility of the players at front, and Nedum explained it very well in a way that they can be interchangeable. They can play in any position they know, and they don't feel uncomfortable, and that's what it is. And the compensation that you have with Digne and Koundé on the side, but also the protection that you have with the 2 midfielders and the 2 centre backs is really good, and it makes that team being complete. So that's going to be hard to move that team. And again, and I always say that if France is at 100%, nobody can beat them.
Ooh. Ali, you agree?
Yeah, I mean, you have the best players and the best attacking players. You have Doué, you have Barcola, you have Mbappe, you have Dembele, you have Olise. I'm naming all these players. I can't believe they're all on the same team. Yes, anyone can be beaten, right? But the pace that they have on transition, the attacking quality, the defensive organization, this team is unbelievable. It's the best France team I've seen. Sorry, Frank.
Put yourself in Morocco's shoes, though. If you're defending there today, and Nedum talked about the duels,
yes.
What's your mindset going in against that attack?
I would be very confident as Morocco going into this game. They have to be, because this is the stage where the best teams have to show up and win. But against the Netherlands, they did show up. They played really well. So I do think they have a good chance. Any team can win on any day, but this is an excellent France team that I've seen.
They're the best team, aren't they? Going into the tournament, they were favourites. They were favourites for a reason. They performed like favourites throughout the tournament, albeit the Paraguay game they got over the line. It was a scruffy game.
What was the issue for them there?
I just think the way Paraguay played, I think they just made it foul after foul after foul, and sometimes you just have to get through. It won't be like that today. Morocco are going to have to defend, but as Nedum rightly said, it's not a case of Hakimi can pick up Doué or Hakimi can pick up Kylian, because then they'll just swap over, and then it's Olise on one side, then it's Dembele on the right, and it's Dembele on the left. And that's what I like, the fluidity, the mobility of the players, and I think they're going to have a bad day, an off day, France, if they don't, to not get through today. Because if they play like anything we have seen them play, and that front 4 click, and Olise hasn't even scored a goal yet, I'm waiting for that to happen. I can't see anybody beating France. Even the likes of Spain and stuff like that. What I've seen, I just think France have got that little bit of an X factor that will always get them over the line. If Mbappe has an off day, Olise will have an on day, or a Dembele will, and somebody else will take the workload if somebody's not playing particularly well.
So they're stock up from 4 years ago?
I think they're better than 4 years ago. I think
Argentina stock up or stock down?
No, I think Argentina's stock down. I think they're older. I think they're not, I think that they play very narrow, Argentina. Listen, they've got to where they are, and they're good. But Leo's, whatever he is, Rodrigo de Paul's not playing. I've seen what they've done, and I just think France, you can only have one winner, and I just think France are the best team that I've seen so far.
What were you laughing at, Frank?
Oh, that was me.
Colin, excuse me. I can hear some chuckling going on. Colin,
that was me. I was chuckling because I was looking at Maka just talk about how France they've got Mbappe, they can hurt you in so many ways, and I think that Morocco have become so disciplined that it's going to take something of real quality to beat them. And that's why I was chuckling, because when Maka was talking, I just remember that goal he scored against Celtic. I think, was it 97? again in the UEFA Cup. So, and I think that's exactly the kind of thing that France would need, that kind of quality individual goal from, say, either Olise, Dembele, or probably Mbappe to beat this Morocco side, who unfortunately are going to be missing their star striker, Ismail Saibari, and that's already, maybe one would say, a huge disadvantage to Morocco, but they're a collective. And like I said, they can shape shift to fit whatever is needed. So France will have to bring their A game to beat Morocco today.
Yeah, very well said. I'm hearing the Emmy Awards have been in touch, by the way. Nedum Sandbox, I mean, absolutely phenomenal. One more time. Yeah.
Come contact you on this.
Listen, it's easy. You know what I mean?
The rumour is you're on it every day now.
Natural.
It's absolutely
every day.
Every day.
Doing every day.
If it's to talk about France, I will do it every single day. It's the easiest job in the world.
And you can watch Nedum Sandbox right here on ESPN FC tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, following the France-Morocco game. Do join us on ESPN Plus, ESPN 2 later on tonight.
España. It was my pick to begin with. I'm riding with Spain because if for no other reason, I am, as my wife likes to tell me all the time, stubborn.
You know what?
Hi.
You know what?
Hi. No. Oh. Oh, it's coming home.
It's coming home.
Finally,
Here we go.
I do think France is going to win again.
Oh.
I know. I'm sorry, Nedum and Kay.
Oh.
But that is my decision.
Do the right thing. Oh.
There's a lot of England. There's a lot of
A
England.
lot of England.
Oh, man. So Nedum and Kay, of course, think it's coming home. I'm joined by former England international, a couple of Champions Leagues to your name at Real Madrid. Macca, let's get stuck in here and do out your bracket.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Let's start with France-Morocco.
France-Morocco, I'm going to go for France.
Okay, so France heading to the semi-final. Who will they play? Spain or
I think
Belgium?
they'll play Spain. Spain should beat. I think Belgium have been very average and they should beat.
Okay.
They should beat. So
right.
I'm going to go Spain, France semi-final. Norway, England.
I know where you're going here.
Of course, I'm going to go with England.
Okay. Into the semi-final they go.
To
Thomas
beat
Tuchel's
Norway,
side.
and as much as I would like Switzerland to win, I'm going to choose Argentina.
Okay. All
Because
right.
I'd love an Argentina-England semi-final like we all would.
And then we head to the semi-finals. Here we go. France-Spain, Mac.
we
I
go.
would go for France to beat
Okay.
Spain. I think Spain are. I know Yazabel's done well, but I think they do lack a little focal point up front. So France, and then I'm going to go for England. I think England will beat an ageing Argentina. They'll have too much for them on the day.
All right, here. Drum roll,
go.
please.
Final with my head.
Oh, you're joking me. Are you serious?
Why?
You've gone with England to lose the final.
I want England to win, but
This is- at
we're here
least
to
you're
do a
honest.
job.
Wow.
Choose with my head, not my heart. So I'm going to go for France.
Hey, Frank Leboeuf, you must love the sound of that. France winning the World Cup according to Macca. Let's get stuck in with your bracket, starting with France-Morocco. Frank.
France.
France.
Oh,
Go
no
for
way.
Simple.
France. Go.
No analysis needed.
Yeah.
Spain-Belgium,
Yeah, no-
Frank.
Yeah, no discussion. Spain, no discussion.
No discussion.
Go ahead.
Okay, all right. You heard it here, folks. Norway-England.
Yeah, be careful. Norway, yeah, baby, the Vikings. Yeah.
Turn them off. Turn them off.
Love that from you, Frank.
Yeah.
Argentina-Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Happy with that.
That's a
Of course.
semi-final between
I
Norway
have guts, you know. I
and
have
Switzerland. All right, Frank, here we go to the
Yeah,
semi-finals. France against Spain.
France, for
Okay.
sure. For
Okay,
sure.
sure.
It will be difficult, but for sure.
Norway, Switzerland.
And Norway. Norway.
Okay. Wow. All right,
I
who
wonder
you
how
got,
the
Frank?
final's going to go.
The big one, July 19th.
Can't believe he's going to
Norway.
choose Norway.
I know.
I can't believe that.
You know what I'm gonna pick. France.
Okay.
France,
France
of course.
is winning the World Cup. So, Colin, over to you. Great stuff there from Frank Leboeuf. Of course, picking France to win it. Colin, France,
picking-
Morocco.
Morocco.
Morocco. Well done, Colin. Well done.
Kept trying.
That's what we like.
My
That's
God,
what we
Colin,
like.
Stop.
Okay. Spain, Belgium, Colin.
Spain.
Okay. We've got a Spain-Morocco semi-final. Norway, England, Colin.
Look, I'm going with Frank here. Norway. England,
Oh, my
definitely
Colin,
convincing. I think
get off.
Norway,
Get off, Colin.
Norway.
Norway to the semi-finals of the World Cup.
You
It's their
might
first
be
time
all
back at the
wrong,
World Cup for
Colin.
the first time this century. Argentina, Switzerland.
Argentina, they've struggled against Cape Verde, struggled against Egypt, and I'm going with Switzerland.
Oh,
Wow.
another
Wow.
for Norway, Switzerland. This is incredible.
Make sure you put your money with the bookies, Colin. You'll win a
I'm
fortune
doing
if this
it,
happens.
All right, Colin, take it away. Spain, Morocco. Are you picking an African side to make it to the final for the first time?
Morocco.
Once they get past France, Morocco are going to get past Spain.
You're thinking Morocco make it to the final.
Yep.
Love that
Exactly.
shout. And Morocco in the final will play?
Norway.
Norway.
Wow.
This I like. What a final that is.
Okay.
Yeah. Who takes it? We've only ever had 8 nations win the World Cup. Norway, Morocco have obviously never won it. Who do you have winning the grand showpiece here? Norway or Morocco?
Norway, unfortunately. I would love to look Morocco right.
After all that, Norway won the World Cup.
Oh wow.
That is amazing.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna give this a rattle and see what happens here. Don't judge me too harshly, folks.
Morocco beat France,
France,
and
Morocco
Spain,
in the semi-final.
and they're gonna
Here
lose
we
against
go.
Norway. Oh my God, Colin.
I have France heading to the semi-finals where they will play Belgium. I've been a little bit underwhelmed by what I've seen from Spain. I've also got Norway taking down England.
Kev the Irishman, who would have thought?
I am an Irishman, but I love
Who would have
my
thought,
son's favourite player in the world now is Erling Haaland, and Argentina will have enough to get by Switzerland. Here we go to the semi-final stage. I am picking France to make it to the
So we've
final.
got Belgium beating Spain and not France in the end.
I'm picking Norway.
Wow.
Norway. Here we go. France against Norway in the World Cup final. And that is where the dream ends for Norway.
So in the end, we get
France.
to France winning
Go and
it
win
again.
it all. What do you reckon, Mark?
No, I think you and Colin were ridiculous, to be honest. You're not coming back anymore.
Field. Let's go through some of the world's most popular culinary dishes. Food Network chef Bobby Flay sat down with Alexis Nunes and our own Ali Krieger here to go through some of the favourites. Bon appetit.
Hey everybody, I'm Bobby Flay here in New York City at my friend Chef Sam Hazen's restaurant, Paladino's Steak and Seafood, with some World Cup cuisine matchups.
All right, guys, let's talk about favorites now, because going into the World Cup, the favorites, of course, were France. Cannot exclude España, Spain. Then you've got Argentina. And then finally, you have England, always amongst the favorites. How does each country's cuisine fare on the table?
This is for France.
Oh.
And obviously you got to do French onion soup for France. Some delicious Gruyere cheese and a wonderful onion soup. Enjoy.
Sounds delicious. Does it get more French than that, Bobby?
It starts with the name French onion soup. It's wonderful, you know, it's like beef broth, some chicken broth. It's low and slow, lots of caramelized onions, a crouton that's been nicely toasted, and then lots of melted Gruyere cheese on top.
It's rich, it's flavorful, it's technical. Like, I feel like just like the French team.
Let's see what Spain brings.
For Spain,
Thank
torta
you.
de español, pan de tomate, the delicious tomato salad.
Wow.
So this is basically an egg dish, like a frittata that they have in Italy. Speaking of Italy, where is the Italian food?
I know.
We want the Italians on the pitch, but we also want their food.
There's potatoes and there's peppers and a little bit of bacon. So it's like harder shell, and then on the inside it's super soft and
Right. Silky.
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 Reminds me of the Spanish team as well.
Yeah.
Silky smooth.
Spain gave us the tiki-taka, sexy champagne football, as well as the fact that they have Lamine Yamal.
I will say, I love Barcelona.
Ah.
I mean, for sure.
For Argentina, 3 World Cups. Lionel Messi. This is his favorite dish. This is a beef. We had some pickled peppers and some chimichurri down the bottom. Enjoy.
Delicious.
Pounded beef that's been breaded, Milanese style. Uh-oh.
I see it in the eyes.
Yes.
I see it in the eyes.
Defending champion.
It's festive, but it's also like soulful. But the sauce just puts it over the top.
The chimichurri.
The chimichurri.
I feel like chimichurri is such a deep part of Argentinian cuisine.
It's everything. It's their steak sauce.
Would you go as far as to say that Argentina can repeat?
If we're talking about the food, then yes.
Yeah.
When Messi is on the field, a lot of defenders are drawn to him, which then opens up space for other players to get into.
I really like Enzo Fernandez as well.
Yeah.
Feisty.
He's very feisty.
Yeah.
That's a South American football,
Yeah.
isn't it? All right, we will see what England brings to the table.
Wow.
Sunday roast?
A little Sunday roast, yeah. This is beef fat Yorkshire, so with the beef drippings from the beef, honey carrots, roasted potatoes, and this is for Sir Bobby Charlton.
fresh horseradish. Yes. Roasted prime rib, some potatoes, some root vegetables, some baby carrots, and then Yorkshire pudding.
Is it tasting like a favorite?
This is one of my favorites of the day. It's smoky.
Oh,
It's juicy.
smoky.
The sauce with the horseradish gives it like that extra,
Pizzazz.
kick.
Could this be England's
How
year?
long has it been since the 60s?
Yes, 1966 that they won.
1966, so that's a long time ago. Worse than the Knicks winning a championship. That was 73. I know that one very well. Could you imagine if they won it after all this time, what would happen
my
in England? I mean, it would be amazing.
All right, so we have our 4 favorites now representing 4 favorite countries to win the World Cup. Ali, let me start with you first. Who wins it all?
The flavor of the chimichurri mixed in with the meat, I think for me just was phenomenal.
All right, Bobby, so on the pitch now, who would you pick as a winner?
I'm going to go with Spain.
Hot smoked paprika. Hot smoked paprika. España.
Pimentón.
Exactly.
I'm hearing the Frank Leboeuf is absolutely fuming right now. The Frenchman in New York City. Your reaction, Frank, is what?
I don't know. Why did you pick the onion soup, the French onion soup? We don't eat that anymore. You know, it's been like 50 years that we didn't eat that.
You're
Sorry,
right, Frank,
Ali, you
you're
had
right.
to go to that experience. You know, I invited Maka at Le Mazet in West Hartford, the restaurant, and you have the beautiful bœuf bourguignon, which is a beef stew. That's something different, you know, and it cannot compare to anything else. I'm sorry.
Ali, defend
Well, that's probably why I didn't have a choice. I just ate what was in front of me.
You're
So
right,
that
Frank.
was on the
You're
chef.
right.
That was not on me.
poor you.
Bang out of order,
Poor
Frank.
you.
That
Sorry
French
for
onion
you.
soup.
Hey, poor
Terrible
you.
choice.
Poor Ali Krieger. She just got fed.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, Ali.
I could barely get a word
Sorry for
in because I was eating everything in that show.
What'd you make of that prime rib? Looked decent.
It did look very good, didn't it?
Yeah.
I'm with Frank, though. Fancy putting French onion soup out like that. That's a terrible dish, isn't it, really, to choose from?
It was actually really good. It was very tasty.
Good stuff. Well, great content from you guys out there, that's for sure. I want to be invited next time.
Yeah.
That looked absolutely phenomenal. Hey, big thanks to Colin and to Frank Leboeuf for joining us here today. If you